Okay, now we're going to do question 6 of 9.3. So first we're going to open up our data right here in StatCrunch. Move it over. Okay, so to figure out which graph we want, I kind of just do it by eye. A lot of the time on the test, they don't really ask you for that. So I like to sort it ascending so I can kind of see how it jumps and stuff. And it's going to be normal. So it's definitely not going to be this one because we're going to want these numbers on the bottom. And then essentially it has to be C just because it's not linear like that, and we wouldn't graph it that way either. So is the data normally distributed? So in the question it asks, in this one right here, it says to verify that the data is normally distributed by constructing a normal probability plot. And so it basically tells us that yes, the data is normally distributed, if that kind of makes sense. Okay, and so now we're going to determine the sample standard deviation. So for this, we got to go to variance stats, one sample with data. It doesn't give us a confidence interval, so we just keep this the same, the hypothesis test. We'll learn more about that later, but just keep it the same because all we're looking at is this number right here. Oops. So if we remember that the sample variance, the standard deviation equals the square root of the sample variance. And so that's how we can find our standard deviation. So I'm going to type in this number that it gives us, square root it. Oops, I guess I need to be able to see that. Okay, and then the next question is basically what we just did on question 5. So we're gonna take this data again and go to stat, variance stats, one sample with data, select our variable, and we're looking at a 90% confidence interval. So we're gonna change this right here to 90. And just like we did last time, so we want the one that says confidence, and we're going to compute the square root of the lower limit and then the square root of the upper limit. I'm going to type that in there. Oops. I'm trying to be able to show you guys my calculator, but it's forget about it. And then the next one. And then the quality control manager wants the machine to have a population standard deviation below 0.20 ounces. Does this validate his desire? So we're looking at what we have, and if he wants it less than 0.20, that's not within our range. The lowest that our 90% confidence interval projects the standard deviation to be is above 0.20, and so we're going to say no. The lower bound interval is greater than 0.20, so it's not likely for it to be below. Oh, whoops, I clicked on the wrong thing. I said the right thing, but I clicked on the wrong one. So there you go. Hopefully these are helpful. All right.